All right, so welcome back, everybody. This is Nurse Eunice with Florida Trade Academy, and in this video, we're going to be discussing how you can market your CPR business. Who are the top 20 potential customers or groups? And so we're going to get started in a few moments. If you're just tuning in, we just had a quick video on ways to grow your CPR business, and if you want to download the slides, you can do so at nurseeunice.com. It's for free, and the slides contain the slides from this presentation, the previous presentation, and also a sample business plan for a CPR training company. So get those free resources. I'm here to help you grow. As a nurse for 25 years, let's see, 1999, yep, 25 years, and also an American Heart Association Training Center faculty member. My job is to help instructors grow their businesses. So it doesn't matter what training center you're affiliated with. My job is to make sure that you're out there doing what you're supposed to do and that you grow your businesses. And by doing so, you would also help to keep our community safe. Now, all right, so let's go ahead and start. All right, so one of the number one occupations who need CPR is, of course, the healthcare professionals. And so, whoever, whether it's doctors, nurses, nursing assistants, physical therapists, respiratory therapists, medical assistants, can I tell you that we also get behavioral therapists in our offices? We also get some vets in our office. So, when I say vets, that'll be like your vet techs, your veterinarians. And so, anybody who cares for people or humans or dogs normally will need some type of professional CPR certification because they're also responsible for those vendors, the people who come into the organizations. And so don't just limit your CPR training, your marketing materials to one particular profession. As we go through the slides, you're going to see that there are 19 more professions that you could be marketing your services to. Emergency responders. So, yes, there is a difference between the way that a nurse in a facility would perform CPR as far as the environment and the equipment's concerned, compared to someone who's an emergency responder, such as a police officer, firefighter, or paramedic. And so, if you are a part of the emergency responders, even if you just volunteer with the firefighters, that is an entirely different audience all to itself. And so that would be another way for you to market, another type of profession for you to market your CPR businesses to. And don't forget that when you market to different types of companies or organizations or professionals, your flyers, your marketing strategy has to be a little bit different, because more than likely, if you're marketing to emergency responders, whenever you're conducting your CPR classes, those are going to be the audiences who have to go to the floor. As a nurse in a hospital, even if my patient did go into cardiac arrest and they were on the floor, they were found on the floor, I have to get them up to an elevated surface, such as a bed, as soon as possible, a bed with a backboard. So just think about those differences whenever you're teaching your courses, and make sure that it's more conductive or more conducive to what your actual students would experience in their real jobs. Number three, teachers and school staff. Yes, those teachers, especially those who are in physical education or extracurricular activities, they have to have CPR also. And so American Heart Association has a brand of CPR called Heart Saver K through 12. And that is for any student, any staff person who either attends or works at a K through 12 school in the United States. And those cards usually are a little bit less expensive, and you can use that card for CPR and AED. You can use it for first aid only, or you can use it for CPR, AED, and first aid. And so I think that would be a good push, especially right now with the summer about to approach. Wow, why don't you just create like a babysitting class or some type of prep class for babysitters and include that CPR certification? That way the kids can be safe in the summer, and then they'll have an extra certification to add to their babysitting resume. So even though this says teachers and school staff, don't forget that those students are out of school, and this would be a good time for them to be certified in CPR also. Childcare providers, babysitters, daycare workers, and nannies. So this is a market that I've not really touched. I don't have enough time to really go out and mingle with the daycare workers, but if you do, if you have any type of affiliations with the Department of Children and Family, this is a market. They are there in their buildings from like 7 or 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. And so if you can go in before hours or after hours and train a daycare staff, that would be an audience that is waiting for you. And because they usually don't get a chance to come out and actually attend CPR classes, this would be a perfect opportunity for those who actually provide mobile or if you can travel with your CPR equipment. Fitness instructor. So in our mall that houses our office, we're actually located inside of a mall, which is super cool. But we have a gym, and yes, I have the training contract with the gym. So the fitness instructors, the personal trainers, the coaches, they will come to us for their CPR classes. In addition to that, some of their patrons, the silver sneakers, those persons will come to us also, and we give all of them a discount. And so whenever you can get a group of people, you don't have to charge full price. If they're bringing you people, they're just referring, maybe that's going to be somebody you only charge half price because they're not working I'll just say they don't make as much as a nurse would. So if I have a coach or somebody, I'm going to give them a discount, and that's going to help them actually refer my services to other people and help me grow my business. The next is construction workers. You all, I used to get up at 6 a.m. and train construction workers, yes, and electricians. Get them early in the morning because OSHA requires them to have CPR certification. And so your marketing will be a little bit different. So you don't want, whenever you think about marketing, maybe on the front of this flyer, you're going to have somebody who has on construction garments or attire versus medical attire. But every construction worker, or at least the foreman, they have to have CPR certification, and that is an untapped market. So you go and tap it. All right, so the next one would be security personnel, those bodyguards, the bouncers, and the event security. Yes, they're out there protecting and serving. And so sometimes injuries happen. They have to know first aid, and they should also have to know CPR. And so maybe you can market to them too. Number 8, lifeguards. Look, right now we know that the beaches and the swimming pools are going to be packed. So usually those lifeguards start taking their CPR courses, before the summer months or before the spring months. But that is something in your future plans as you're starting to strategize and market. You want to be thinking about, well, maybe at the end of winter, I'll start marketing to those who want to be lifeguards. And yes, you can teach them CPR, AED, and first aid also. Usually those particular professions, they'll need their CPR from the American Red Cross. But if you're an American Heart Association instructor, usually you can be grandfathered in with the other brands of CPR companies. So, just make sure you can go to American Red Cross's website, and you'll see that if you're an American Heart Association instructor, that they'll usually onboard you for free. Something that we don't consider, the flight crews. Yes, they need CPR also, those pilots, the flight attendants, and the airline staff. And if you are a part of your city's chamber, usually those authorities, whether it's the airport authority, the electrical or aviation authority, the electrical authority, all of those different organizations, usually they have some type of small business development program. And I need you to start attending those meetings because you could be the one who gets a contract, whether through the chamber or through one of these different organizations. And that's going to help you, of course. Like the largest contract I had one time was with the Department of, it was, I want to say Department of Finance. I may be saying it wrong, but it was the ones who dealt with child support, child support enforcement. That's what it was. And so I nearly had like 100 people, and they were all from this one organization. So that would be something. If you can get a large group of people, you don't have to train them all at once. But what you can do is schedule several training sessions, and in that way you can keep that business growing. But definitely look at the aviation industry if you want to grow your CPR business. Don't forget about the scuba divers and the maritime industry or the mariners. So you have your dive masters, your dive shops. Look, this is very dangerous. Some do it for fun, some do it for work. But if you're going underwater, somebody has to know CPR. Your merchant marines. So anybody who's in the maritime industry, they have to know CPR also. And don't forget to reach out to boating schools. Number 11, camp counselors. And don't just think about summer camp, think about, those after school care providers too. So those responsible for outdoor activities and wilderness excursions, so Boys and Girls Club, Boy Scouts, they all need CPR. They may need different types. And so if you're interested in becoming like a wilderness CPR, AED, and first aid instructor, I know the American Safety and Health Institute has one of those courses, and that's usually approved by the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts of America. So Lifeguards, American Red Cross, Wilderness, you have American Safety and Health Institute. And so what I'm getting at is that you can teach for multiple brands. You just don't have to teach for the American Heart Association. American Heart is usually going to be more for those who are in the medical fields. All right, so the next group that you can actually market to would be those coaches. Yes, every coach should know CPR. So sometimes they're kind of hard to teach because they're so busy, they don't like to perform their skills, but make them learn their skills anyway. All right, so those coaches, don't forget the cheer moms, they need CPR certifications also. Oh, speaking of cheer moms, last year I had a group of homeschoolers. And so as an extracurricular activity, they all came, I think it was a group of 15 of them, and they learned CPR. They also took the babysitting course, and that was really cool. I gave them a discount. So it was me giving back to the community, but also me being able to expand my business and my brand in a different area that I wouldn't normally teach, the homeschoolers. So when you think about those coaches, those teachers, also think about those ancillary groups who usually don't get an opportunity to participate in CPR and other extracurricular activity, but it's going to help those homeschoolers. It's really going to benefit them on their resumes as they're preparing to graduate from high school. All right, office managers. So ensuring workplace safety and preparedness. Now, when you go into an office and that lady who's always at the front desk, who knows everything, who's super supportive, I need for you to go ahead and give her one of your cards. It's like, hey, how are you doing? Remember me? I'm such and such. I'm also a CPR instructor. I would love to come by and just do a hands-only CPR demonstration for your office. I want to make sure that you all stay safe. And so just do that warm welcome. And then if they really like you, they'll probably call you back again so that you can actually certify the office. So you can do a knowledge-only course to get in the door, but the knowledge-only course does not provide certification. If they want certification, of course, they're going to have to pay for your services. Number 14, event planners. So organizing large gatherings where emergency can occur. So think about those people who host weddings, who host parties. You want to be reaching out to them and letting them know that, hey, you can actually list this, you can advertise this, you can promote this, that that your team, your event planning team is certified in CPR. And I know if I was hosting an event somewhere and if you told me that everybody there knew CPR, especially if I had some older participants who are coming to this event, I would feel much more comfortable. Number 15, those construction site supervisors. So previously we talked about the construction workers, but if you can actually get in contact with a decision maker at any of these construction sites, again, OSHA requires that they know CPR. And so you want to make sure that you market to them also. Our Chamber of Commerce here locally has, it's called the Big Book. It comes out annually and it has a list of all the decision makers and their email addresses. I think it may have like their fax numbers. And so that would be a way for you to actually find those decision makers, or at least their office managers. So you want to go find the big book, the big list, whatever it is for your particular city, find the names of those most important people, and maybe go ahead and send out some type of informational infographic, letting them know why they should be choosing you, because you decrease liabilities. You help to keep their staff safe, and so that would be something that I would consider if I was trying to, expand into a different area. Religious institutions. Think about the violence that has been happening at the religious institutions. So, yes, they have to know CPR, AED, how to use an AED, and first aid also. So, if you've not reached out to your local church, mosque, synagogue, temple, again, try to initially offer. You want to give something before you ask for something. So, I would give my knowledge only course. It takes about an hour. I'm going to go out and teach hands only CPR, teach you all how to control bleeding. But now, if someone needs a certification, that is when I will backtrack. I will go back again, and then I will have a course where I actually charge the fee. But that would be a good way for you to get your foot into the door, connect with the churches, the mosques, the synagogues, and the temples, because more than likely that organization has teachers, doctors, nurses. They have everybody you need, but you have to give something first in order to get something. Number 17, hotel staff. So those front desk, those clerks, they should know CPR. They should know how to use the AED, and you want to be their preferred CPR trainer. So reach out to them too. Number 18, restaurant employees, those managers that host us, they should know CPR, and your favorite bartender should know CPR too. Community leaders. All right, so this one is a biggie. Those elected officials, community center staff, neighborhood watch volunteers, if your community has a pool, period, if they have a pool within your housing development, someone needs to know CPR besides you. So I would, make sure I have a meeting with someone. The community leaders, usually their security team will know CPR, but if you have any affiliations or connections with anybody who's a decision maker on the city or county level, you want to reach out to them, or in your community, because by doing so, not only could you help to save a life, but you can also be growing your CPR business. And last, those nonprofit organizations. So, the reason why I saved this one for last, you all, is because as a for profit, as an owner of a for profit business, I don't get grant dollars. How do I get access to grant dollars? By partnering with nonprofit organizations. So we partner with those who get the grant dollars in order to provide workforce training. CPR, AED, and first aid is workforce training, you all. So look for those workforce training initiatives in your area and make sure that you let others know that, hey, I can come out and I can provide that service to your clients. So staff and volunteers working in disaster relief, humanitarian aid, community outreach, and workforce development. Yes, they need CPR too. So I hope that you found this video useful. I hope that you can grow your CPR business. Again, my name is Nurse Eunice with Florida Training Academy. I'm an American Heart Association Senior Training Center faculty, Senior Training Center faculty member for CPR, BLS, ACLS, and PALS. And so this is what I do. This is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about saving lives, protecting our patients, and to help you grow your business. So everybody, this is it. This is my last video tonight. Good night, and I'll see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow.